Бабо, знаеш кои са двете неща, които никога няма да ядеш на закуска?
Какво? Как така няма да ядеш?
Не, бабо, аз ще ям. Просто си представи какво никога не би яла.
Ми не знам, то ние всичко ядеме.
Ми обяд и вечеря.
Няма да се гавриш храната, ей!
Hi there, comrades. Today I'll be showing you an old-time favorite breakfast of mine from my childhood. I remember that I regularly asked Babushka to prepare this to me for breakfast. Typically, I had a lot of choices for breakfast. On the menu were fried slices of bread, which is the Slav name of French toast, Slav pancakes, sandwiches, breakfast macaroni, which maybe I'll show you in the future, and other strange Slav breakfast recipes, which maybe one day you will know of. But most of the time I chose exactly the thing that I'll be showing you today. It is known as lazy banitsa. Why, will you ask? Because it has a very similar taste to banitsa, but it is prepared in quite a different and easier way. By the way, if you don't know what banitsa is, we already have 2 recipes on the channel, so feel free to check them out. The lazy banitsa kinda looks like bread, but in the same time is not a bread, as it doesn't contain yeast. It is prepared only with baking soda. The recipe is quite versatile and you can eat it both sweet and savory. My favorite ways to eat it is with yogurt, of course, some homemade strawberry jam or any other type of jam, or with honey. It actually goes well with some of our drinks like ayran and buza. The other good part is that it is even tasty on the next day. And also you can add it as a part of another meal separate from breakfast. But of course, as you can imagine, the leftovers from this in a Slav family were a very rare case. Now, if I already have your curiosity, let's see how to prepare it so you can surprise someone for breakfast or just treat yourself in the weekend. As always, we'll be starting with the products first. You need 150 grams of healthier white dead, 150 grams of yellow white dead. You can basically add 300 grams of any flour you want instead of these. 250 grams of curds, or cottage cheese, or Bulgarian white cheese, or even feta cheese. 250 grams of yogurt. You can use here also that Icelandic yogurt skyr or some quark. It will do the job. You need 40 milliliters of sunflower juices, 3 non-existent chickens to date, and some baking soda. Not a lot of products basically. The apple, I use it for snacking, you don't need it for the recipe, to be honest, I'll put it here. Yep. After that you enter secret codes for the Slavic sequence for making a lazy banitsa. Initiate some chemistry by making soda go bubbly by throwing it in some yogurt. The acidity will do wonders with the baking soda. Utilize the whole chicken shelled grenades and make them dizzy with the whisk. Add in the oil and make it friend with the eggs. Whisk well again, almost like mayonnaise. When the oil and the eggs are one, add in the yogurt soda mix. They should have done their work at that point of time. Mix with the egg oil mixture until homogeneous. After that, it is time to add the flours, preferably sieve them to remove any non-flour parts. This will also make our lazy banitsa softer. You can also use normal white flour or even oat flour. The good thing is we are using one bowl to mix everything up, so we won't have to wash a ton of dishes and kitchen utensils after that. After all, we are aiming for a nice and fast breakfast. Mix with the whisk until you can. At some point of time, the dough will start to form and it will become very thick. When this happens, I switch to the spatula. When the flour is well incorporated, add in the curds or cottage cheese or even Bulgarian white cheese. or feta cheese if you want. Honestly, any type of cheese would work, depending on you want chunks of cheese in it or not. If it's not too salty, add in 2-3 pinches of salt. Mix until the cheese products of choice becomes one with the dough, and your dough should have a consistency like that. Pretty thick if you ask me, but in the same time not as dense as bread dough. After that, take a nice tava and add in some parchment paper in it to assure your lazy banitsa won't stick. Add the dough in carefully and spread it evenly. I do this by making my hands wet with water. This will stop the dough from sticking to my hands. This is old babushka tricks. After that, feel free to add any seeds of choice on top. My choice this time was poppy seeds. I really enjoy them when baked. They have nice nutty flavor. And our banitsa is ready for the oven. Say goodbye to it and bake it in preheated oven on 180 Celsius or 356 Fahrenheit for around 30 to 35 minutes. After that, test it with a toothpick. If it doesn't have dough on it, then we are done. Make sure to test on a couple of places on the banitsa just to make sure. Get it out of the oven and sprinkle some water with your hand over it. Cover with a towel and leave it to rest. This will make it very soft. It should have this nice golden brown color under the poppy seeds. Our lazy banitsa has rested for 30 to 40 minutes. Make sure not to eat it hot. Leave it to rest for a while. If you do not leave it to settle, as we say, and you eat it warm, you may ruin the consistency and your stomach may ache. So be patient. But if you like to cause someone stomachache, feed them immediately with the banitsa. Beware of the second-degree burns. Energy: for 100 grams of our baked goods, we have 210 calories, 10 protein, 23 carbs, almost 8 fats. Not great, not terrible, I would say. Now we'll check the insides. It has baked quite well if you ask me. Have a quick taste test just to make sure it's not poisonous. The consistency is quite nice. It's like a nice sponge.
Bonus Slavness.
Bonus round. Just some ideas how to eat it. My preferred way is with yogurt and some homemade jam. Strawberry jam in this case, but you can go with butter, cheese, ayran. Basically treat it like a bread and make sandwiches if you want. There are a ton of different ways. It is basically a type of fast bread without yeast. If you add feta cheese, there will be chunks in, which is pretty nice. Slav difficulty level, I call it 2 out of 5. It's quite a simple recipe, you just mix everything and bake it. Nothing really to mess up, just be careful not to overbake it or to take it out early. Stick to the toothpick test, it has never betrayed me. Also the fact that we mix everything in one bowl is a huge advantage for me. To make it easier, you can use a hand mixer to mix the dough. This is one of the easiest and tastiest breakfasts that Babushka used to prepare for me and I love it. It was known as lazy banitsa maybe because you just mix everything and bake it. Simple yet very nice. You can experiment and add some things to it. I've done it with olives, ham, different types of cheese, even with pickles. Yes, pickles, they are quite good in that. They turn quite nice into this, trust me. Remember that you can add more eggs, change the type of the cheese products and the type of the flour. This recipe is quite versatile. I hope you like this nice Slavic breakfast and Slav you next time.